let's continue the series here, the grand finale, since he's the last guy who faced either one of these two, and ironic enough was the first guy to face either one of these two. Now this one requires a lot of explanation, so let's dive in right now. May versus Pac, Juan Manuel Marquez performance. Are you ready for this one? No cheating, right? Don't just assume. Wait for the result, right? Wait for the result. And I want to know what you think. Give me your honest take. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And try and be objective. Just because you hate Floyd, don't just automatically go against Floyd. Just because you hate Manny, don't just automatically go against Manny. Be objective about it, right? At least try to. That's all I ask. That's all I'm asking for. Both guys have faced Juan Manuel Marquez a total of 5 times. Of course, 4 of those were by Manny Pacquiao. So the series is titled Who Deserves More Credit for the Victory over Common Opponents, right? So there's a lot of explaining to do here. There's a lot of different versions of Juan Manuel Marquez, or not versions, but different states of Marquez's career, right? If somebody were to ask you, or myself, right, objectively, what would your answer be? If they were to ask you, what was Juan Manuel Marquez's best weight class? Most people would say featherweight. I would venture to say that it's featherweight as well, right? Down in the featherweight division, right? That's where Marquez met Pacquiao. That's the divisions that they fought in, right? So the first 2 fights, which are classics, but the first one, Pacquiao knocks down Marquez 3 times. Marquez gets back up, starts to, he survives the early rounds. He starts to outbox Pacquiao. It's declared a draw, right? But it was a draw, and I understand that there was controversy that the judge, scored it wrong, but on paper it's a draw. We cannot give Manny any credit for that by the standards of what we're talking about right now. We just can't do it. The second fight, classic fight, exciting fight. In my opinion, it was the fight of the year that time, right? Back and forth, razor thin. Marquez with his counterpunching, Pacquiao with his pressure, right? Both guys land good shots. Pacquiao gets a knockdown, right? It was the 4th time he ever knocked down Marquez in their 2 fights. Close, razor thin decision. I believe a split decision in favor of Manny Pacquiao. Just edges him out. Third fight, Marquez. Not expected to win. Huge underdog coming in here. The fight was at a weight class Marquez had never really looked that good in, right? Surprisingly enough, it's a close fight. Another razor-thin fight. In my opinion, not as good as the second one, but still an exciting fight nonetheless. Pacquiao wins a decision. But many feel Marquez was robbed in the fight, right? I think you can make a case for either guy, to be honest with you. Fourth fight, we know the story, right? Both guys doing their thing again, going back and forth. Marquez knocks down Pacquiao. Pacquiao bloodies up Marquez, is battering him around, and Marquez, boom, right hand, knocks him out. Pacquiao's knocked out cold. That's another fight we cannot even put into account here. We're going to have to put it aside. 2 fights already disqualified. The draw and when he was knocked out. Floyd Mayweather Jr. When he fought Marquez, it was in fact Marquez was coming up from lightweight. After his fight of the year victory over Juan Diaz, he did in fact call out Floyd. Originally, it was publicized, and apparently it was agreed to that it was a catchweight. Mayweather Jr. did not make the catchweight, but apparently there was another contract that was signed that it was a welterweight fight. But Mayweather paid a penalty for every pound that he was over, so that just didn't make sense, right? Nonetheless, when they get in the ring, Marquez is not looking in his best of shape, if we're being honest, all right? However, although he got dominated in the fight, I think Marquez did a little better than people give him credit for, given the circumstances, okay? I mean, if you really look at it, like when Mosley staggered Mayweather or whatever in a second. Take that round away, I mean, he didn't do any better than Marquez, right? For example. All right, so with that said, Mayweather didn't knock him down in the fight. He knocked down Marquez. Marquez got back up, and he kept fighting, right? Mayweather definitely outclassed him, won virtually every round. And, it was just a complete outclass, right? He just completely outclassed the guy. Just outclassed him completely, all right? And this is where you got to give Mayweather the performance advantage. It's up to Pacquiao to make up for it, right? Well, here's my thing. It is alleged that Pacquiao fought the juiced up version of Marquez, right? I want to remind everybody that when Mayweather fought Marquez, there was no USADA testing. I'm just putting that out there, okay? No different testing than when he fought Pacquiao. I'm just saying, okay? Could you argue that Marquez filled into the weight a little more and all that? Sure. I just don't think it was that much of a difference, okay? As you saw in the Bradley fight, obviously Bradley was not as dominant or nothing. It was more of a way more competitive fight, which he clearly won, but it was a more competitive fight than the Mayweather fight. But Marquez has always had problems with that slick style, right? So that's why Mayweather, in my opinion, did his thing with Marquez, okay? Where he knew Manny. I mean, Marquez knows at what time Manny has breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? I mean, Marquez knew this guy, all right? His trainer has studied his ass, okay? But with that said, given the fact that there was a draw, given the fact that Manny Pacquiao was knocked out cold, okay, I got to give the nod in this case because the victory was so dominant. I got to give Mayweather more of the credit, okay? Mayweather wins it here. In my opinion, he takes it. But let me say this, legacy-wise, okay, this is aside from everything, legacy-wise, that second win over Marquez and even the draw are going to go down in history, all right, as great fights. Those 4 fights are going to go down in history as great fights. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're one of those types that likes great fights over great fighters, then I mean that series is for you. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether, even if Pacquiao loses